If you're a script writer and you think back to Pete Alonso's career with the Mets, the drama will build even more. If he has another dramatic swing in him, he may earn a new contract all with that one swing. Here's the pitch.
And it's out of here! Pete Alonso with his first major league home run!
Way back and long gone. No one
Has ever hit more home runs in a season as a New York Met.
number 53.
A new rookie single-season home run king.
Pete Alonso, walk-home two-run homer!
And if you want to get a win for number 41, what a way to do it.
The best home run hitter in baseball wins it.
Their biggest and bestest, delivering the blow when needed.
Number 200! He did it! He did it!
You easily passed me, set straw on your sights, and now go get him. Congratulations, my man.
Darryl Strawberry, you got some company. It's out of here! Out of here! Pete Alonso, the most prolific home run hitter in New York Mets history.
Well, it had been a slow developing winter meetings as we're continuing MLB Tonight presented by Cone Resnick. But what a whopper, saving that big jolt like a climactic finale of a movie. Bam! Right to the solar plexus on day 3 of the winter meetings. Alongside the Mets Hall of Famer Ron Darling, perennial All-Star Sean Casey, I'm Adnan Burke. It is great to have you with us. Pete Alonso and the Baltimore Orioles financing a 5-year, $155 million contract. This tweet from Jeff Passan. Alonso leaves the Mets to make a loaded AL East even better. Ronnie, you've been obviously calling Mets games for many years. You've seen Pete Alonso be one of the great home run hitters in Mets history. Your reaction?
I mean, I didn't know the Mets were going to provide all of our content for this entire week. I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah.
I just, the Diaz news was kind of shocking, but the Dodgers get whatever they want. But we reported yesterday, Pete, who lives in Tampa, he's going to drive over here and meet with the Red Sox and meet with the Orioles. The Orioles were all in on Schwarber. That's how Schwarber got the money from the Philadelphia Phillies. And they're not messing around. The Orioles have said, we wanted to land a big whale, and they did an Alonso.
I thought the same thing. Oh, wow, I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
Stunner.
I did think, though, when I saw the Orioles go to 5 I heard they were 5 for 150 for Schwarber, I immediately said they're going right after Alonso, and they're gonna make sure that they land it. They need a big bat in their lineup. They don't have the power. They had 3 guys lead that team last year with 17 home runs. All of a sudden, Pete Alonso, you just added 40 home runs, close to 40 homers, and no doubt 100 RBIs a year. Yeah. This guy is an impact bat. And to tell you the truth, I honestly, Ronnie, I'm actually shocked that the Mets didn't appreciate who he was and what he brought. To play 162 and to show up every single night and do what he did. I was shocked that the Mets hadn't locked him up a long time, but the Orioles, they got a big fish right here, guys.
I mean, just in the middle of that lineup, don't forget they got Taylor Ward from the Angels. I mean, they've always had a legit lineup. They've always had a core of young players. Now they have someone that goes to the post every single day, played 162 last year, something that all of those young aspiring players with the Orioles will be able to look up to. He, I don't know, he might make them the favorite. All of a sudden, makes them at least a beast in the East.
Yeah, think about him and Ward together. That's 70-plus home runs. The great Gunnar Henderson. All of a sudden, Baltimore is back after a down season a year ago. Who is also back? Our man Jon Heyman, who joins us now, day 3, when he's normally disheveled, but I think he's cleaned up a little bit over time. John looks resplendent right now here in Orlando.
He does.
John, along with looking wonderful, the Baltimore Orioles are feeling great. How'd this deal come together?
Well, the Orioles and the Red Sox both met with Pete Alonso when he came in here yesterday. Meeting lasted late in the night. Obviously went very, very well. Both teams were very interested. The Mets were surprised that Pete Alonso was able to get this 5-year, $155 million deal. Good for Alonso. Remember, he turned down 7 for 158 a couple years ago. Ends up with 205 over those same 7 years. It's worked out for Alonso. I'm with you guys. I'm flabbergasted to some degree. Obviously, over the last few days, it was not looking good for the Mets. Mark Feinsand had mentioned the Mets didn't want to go more than 3 years yesterday. So that kind of brought it home for me and said, you know what? I bet he goes to one of these 2 other teams that we know he is meeting with. And as the mayor just said, Orioles offered 150 for 5. So Alonso 155 beats Schwarber by 5 years. A great deal for both guys, but certainly a tough day again for the Mets. Lost Diaz yesterday, so back-to-back days, losing two of the fan favorites of the team. Not only fan favorites, clubhouse favorites, guys who posted in New York. Alonso, 162 games each of the last 2 years. Last year, he scheduled his first childbirth. His wife gave birth at midnight after a night game so he could play the game in September and not miss a game. That's how much this guy wants to play.
That is an unbelievable nugget. I have not heard that before.
Wait a minute, maybe she's the gamer.
Absolutely, give her the game ball. Haley, amazing. I mean, she is from Boston, so we were thinking maybe Boston, there could be a spot for him, but Baltimore, obviously big game hunting here, went for Schwarber. They were in on Tucker. We'll see what else they could do. As presumably, look, they got Ward, they got Kittredge, they got Helsley. They have done a ton. They are one of the few really aggressive teams out here in Florida. Baltimore, Boston, Toronto, AL East really heating up.
Steve, John, listen, I thought that Steve Cohen had more money than Rockefeller. How can you get outbid by Diaz and with regards to Alonso back-to-back days? That's stunning.
Yeah, I don't even think they were close on Alonso. So, they just didn't really have the same interest that Baltimore had, obviously. Never got anywhere near. They had a nice meeting at the GM meetings. They said nice things, but they just don't love that, paying that big right-handed slugging first baseman a lot of money. I don't think it's anything personal. I'm sure it's not. Alonso's a terrific guy, good in the clubhouse. But they just don't want to do that. They want to really concentrate on run prevention. But you're going to have to score some runs, too. And that Soto-Alonso combination was absolutely fantastic last year for the Mets. That was really the one of a couple of very positive things in a very, very disappointing season.
Work to do right now for a New York Mets team. As you said, they missed the playoffs at 83-79, and now they lose Edwin Diaz and Pete Alonso. Great stuff, John. Appreciate you. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Pete Alonso going to the Baltimore Orioles. Some tweets to offer some more perspective. Will Salmon, the Mets had some interest in bringing Pete Alonso back, but they were not comfortable going to the lengths and figures it ended up at in his deal with the Orioles, league sources said. Wow. To further the point, Joel Sherman, our friend and colleague of the New York Post, there are no opt-outs in the Alonso deal with the Orioles. He's entering his age 31 season. And more from Joel, from source, the Mets never made an offer, as it became clear to them that Alonso was getting bids for more dollars and years than in their comfort zone. It's a lot to comprehend, Case. I mean, not a formal offer. Like, the Mets are thinking, 3-year deal for a 31-year-old slugger. Like, I don't think, listen, Kyle Schwarber got a 5-year deal at 33. 5 years for a 31-year-old slugger to Alonso who plays that much? That doesn't seem...
Where do you go? I'm just saying, and also, too, don't forget, you just paid $700 million for Juan Soto.
Yeah.
He had some pretty good protection in that lineup with a guy like Pete Alonso. I don't know. I don't know what the Mets are thinking as far as they have the money. He's a fan favorite.
Right.
Like I said, he's going to hit you close to 40 a year. He's definitely driving in 100. Like, these guys don't just grow on trees. When you talk about the home run leaders since 2019, let me name them to you. Aaron Judge, Kyle Schwarber, Pete Alonso, and Shohei Ohtani. You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty good company, pretty elite company. So good for the Orioles for saying, you know what, we want this guy. And I'm sure for Pete, getting that 5-year deal for $155, Ronnie, and you probably know better than anyone else, is he's saying, thanks for the respect. I'm finally getting respected for what I've been doing.
That's right, and no opt-out. So it tells them I want to be here. I don't want to think about leaving at some point. I don't know. You've now paid, unless you get a bat, Juan Soto to walk 150 times a year. That's what you've done.
Right.
So they're going to have to, one of their young players, Vientos or someone else, is going to have to step up. Maybe they get in the Kyle Tucker race now. For a legit bat in the outfield. But it's just these last 2 days have to really be hard on Mets fans.
Yeah.
Think about it this way. Brandon Nimmo, a fan favorite, waives his no trade and agrees to the deal to go to Texas Rangers. You can't re-sign Diaz, who didn't even come back to you to try to get an offer from his former team. And now Pete Alonso gone. That's 3 unbelievably great players, beloved by the fan base, have proven that they can pitch or play in New York. That's not an easy thing, right? And now all gone.
It's a lot to comprehend right now if you're a Mets fan. You can understand that they'd be in mourning right now. Pete Alonso with the Orioles, by the way, I guess facing them. OPS over 1,000, 5 home runs in 10 games. Case, you mentioned the 40 and 100. What are they getting in Pete Alonso?
What are they getting? They're getting elite power. They're getting a guy that posts every single day. You know, and you're also getting a guy who had his career best exit velo last year at 93.5, almost trending in the right direction, especially with nowadays what you can do with bat speed and continuing. I think you're going to see guys trending in the right direction. But let's go back to Pete Alonso and just how good this guy is. I mean, we talk about a swing that's A to B, that believes in himself, elite power to all fields, which is very, very, no one goes there, Ronnie, by the way, out to dead center, Comerica. I'm just saying no chance. But the one thing you love with Pete is that right there, the fact that he can go all over the place and drive the ball to right center. Let's go back to the first career home run when everyone's like, hey, who is this guy right here? Big pick out of Florida. What are we getting for him? You know what you're getting? You're getting a guy that became a fan favorite because he took his shirt off after this big walk. You were there, Ronnie, and we're like, this guy's the polar bear. He's the everyday guy that we love. 2019 goes out and says, you know what? This is my home run derby, and he'd continue to do it in 2020 and just continue to be that guy that was like, man, this guy's incredible. But this home run right here, down 2-0 in the ninth, backs against the wall. Alonso gets the first changeup all year, hit off Devin Williams with a 3-run bomb to right. And, you know, when you just watch him time and time again come up with big hit after big hit, I get so sick and tired of the industry sometimes saying an RBI is a stat, is just a team thing. No, it's not. Certain guys drive in runs, and they do it every year. This is one of them. This is a big fish to me. This guy is a guy that can drive the ball to right center and do everything. The Orioles needed this guy right now. The Orioles needed somebody huge, because when you look at the first baseman for the Orioles, you want to talk about struggle bus? That's the struggle bus right there. Last 20th and 27th, they knew they had to get a guy. They knew they had to get somebody that was a big bat. Pete Alonso's that guy. And Ronnie, for this right here, as a first baseman, when sometimes guys are like, well, this guy's not good defensively, he doesn't go to his right. Let's stop that, because I'll tell you what, if he doesn't go to his right, let's say he gives up 15 runs throughout at 162, and you go, okay, didn't go to his right that well. Okay, he drives in 120. So let's subtract it. He drives in 105 more runs than he lets in. And on another note on Pete Alonso, scoops. If I'm a first baseman, and I was, my job was to make every guy in that infield better. If you make a play in the hole to the short and you got to get rid of it, I got you. I'm going to pick it. He's elite at that. Go look at the numbers. It's not even close. He's number one. So this whole defensive stuff, this guy's a great defender. He does what the first baseman is supposed to do, make those infielders better. He picks everything. This is a great sign for the Baltimore Orioles.
It really is. And Adnan, it almost makes me sad. I've watched every single game just about that he has played. He's comported himself with class. The stuff that he's done off the field for the Mets in the community has always been amazing. I know he'll continue that in the Baltimore community. A real loss. A real loss for the Mets today. Is a great game for the Orioles.
A consummate professional, and like you said, a class act. 29 scoops, by the way, led. So
there you go.
Was excellent in that department in the majors. Great news for the Baltimore Orioles. Disappointing news, certainly, for the New York Mets.